Hello and welcome to another edition of Discover Mercer County Business. I'm your host, Rod Wilt, and I'm the Executive Director at Penn-Northwest Development Corporation, and we are Mercer County, Pennsylvania's certified economic development organization. Our motto is, Make It in Mercer County, and our role is to create low-cost financing solutions for recruiting, retaining, and growing jobs and business opportunities in every corner of our county. The sole purpose of this program is to showcase people and organizations that are making things happen here. We interview them to find out why they have chosen Mercer County, Pennsylvania as a great place to live, learn, work, and play. We're producing this show in conjunction with Thiel College students, faculty, and staff, and we're coming to you from the state-of-the-art TV and radio studios in the James Pettis Communications Center on Thiel's campus here in Greenville. If you would like to connect with our Improvement Movement team to see how you can make it in Mercer County, please visit our website at penn-northwest.com or give us a call at 724-662-3705. You can also find us on YouTube by searching Penn-Northwest Development Corp. Or connect with us on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. We hope you enjoy this edition of Discover Mercer County Business, and today we welcome to our program Tina Fenrick from Tina's Taxi. I've been looking forward to this interview, Tina, since the first time I met you over a year and a half ago. We've always looked forward to our time together because you are an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. You have just taken this business, launched it. It's been your baby. You've grown it. I just want to hear about how you got involved in the taxi business.
Okay. Well, first of all, I've always wanted to own my own business. So for the last 6 years before I started this business, I worked at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Grove City. So that's where I saw the need for the service. So I decided to leave there and just kind of go off on my own and start this little entrepreneurship. And here we are.
So that was the hotel out by the outlet.
Yes.
So a lot of traffic, a lot of people coming in, but a lot of folks don't want to drive, don't know where they're going, need a shuttle service. The hotels can't keep up with everybody going everywhere. And you're like, you had an aha moment.
I did. So I basically just had to decide how I was going to get it started. I had no idea what to do or how to do it. So I just started investigating how you start your own transportation business and found out that it went through the Public Utility Commission out of Harrisburg. So that was the first step. So I basically called there several times. Over a month long, I didn't get any response.
They're like, who is this crazy lady out in Mercer County, and why does she want to get into this crazy business, right?
So I kind of took a break for a minute, went on a little vacation, came back and tried again, and this time I got a different recording, and it was a different person, so this person actually called me back. So they basically explained to me how to start the business and go through the application process. So I went through several steps, through Harrisburg, and it took about a year.
And this is all before the first taxi.
Before the first taxi.
This is just all
basically
learning 101 how to get started in Pennsylvania.
Exactly
launching
what to do. Like I got my LLC, and then had to, come up with the name of the company and logo, and just completely from scratch. But it was all the paperwork through the state was what took so long. So finally it became official and got everything I needed in August of 18. So,
August of 2018, okay.
Yes. So I had basically one taxi and myself, and I started with a Dodge, and I started with that, and I couldn't get
a Dodge van?
Yes, a Dodge Grand Caravan. And I thought, okay, so I have that, but I bought it before I became official, and it was in my own name. So I discovered that I had to have it in the business name.
And that's for liability purposes
yes.
and things like that. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's a guideline through the state. So I decided that I had to figure out how to get it out of my name into the business name. Well, the bank I was working with doesn't do commercial accounts.
So another hurdle.
Right. So I couldn't get it changed into the business name because the business was brand new, and I couldn't get a loan.
No credit, no nothing. Okay.
So I decided to go to Taylor Toyota in Hermitage and spoke with somebody there, and I was able to get my first van under Fenrick Enterprises LLC. And
so they're willing to work with you as a
startup. They were willing to work with me.
And that's really, this, from what I know about you, this theme is going to kind of weave its way through our conversation, because for you, it's just been trial and error, trying to find that person like at the Department of State, that will
right?
finally want to work with you.
Exactly. So ended up buying my first Toyota. Well, once I had the Toyota, I didn't like the Dodge anymore. So I thought I can't have my employees driving the Dodge, it's not fair. So I actually traded it in with the same company and had 2 Toyotas.
So you
Yeah,
really, and what was the time? You went from 1 to 2 pretty
just
quick.
like that. Yes.
Okay.
So I basically couldn't do anything with the Dodge. It was like dead. It was just like this.
It was
This
a personal vehicle then.
exactly. So I ended up with 2 Toyota Siennas and just myself. So I decided to just kick it running. So I came up with a logo and got all my marketing stuff and found somebody to listen to me about how to wrap it and what I was wanting there.
So then
And
you needed to, you went through a few graphics people to work with
right,
you again on your
I
logo,
did.
the pink taxis with
I
the big
knew what I
yellow
wanted
smiley
in my
face.
head. I just couldn't, like, I was having trouble getting it out. So when people just like listened to what I was saying, they just kind of made it happen in front of me and we just kind of went with it.
Well, we're going to show
But
some pictures of your fleet that you now have
yeah,
on the screen here when we air this
gotcha.
program. But
So yeah, I just wanted, I wanted the business, I wanted to do a high end, kind of transportation company. And I wanted it to be fun and I wanted it to reflect my personality. So that's where the smiley face and the flower and the pink and all that stuff comes in. But so basically I started with the 2 vans and myself. And so for the first 6 months, I was just marketing and building the business and just going door to door, letting everybody know I was here.
did the phone
Like
ring?
the phone started ringing and it just continued to ring and it got busier and busier and busier. So for the first 6 months, it was gradually, it was a 24-hour business and I started actually practically driving 24 hours. I mean, obviously I got little breaks and a lot of broken sleep, but I was pretty much killing myself. But I didn't want to hire until I knew I could afford employees and that we were ready for them. So in March of 19, I finally felt that I could afford employees. So I hired my first 2. And then 2 weeks later, my first hurdle, well, I wouldn't say the first hurdle, but one of the first hurdles,
One of the big ones.
one of the big ones, was when I discovered from the PUC that there was a few extra words on my certificate that had to come off.
So when
So,
you filed your official business enterprise documentation,
right.
you had some additional words. Do you remember what those words were?
They had something to do with personal convictions to prevent you from driving.
Oh.
So those
So
were
that was kind of your outreach into, hey, if you had a little bit too much to drink or if
right,
you're tired or whatever, give us a call. Let us get you where you're going
right.
safely.
Whatever your
Okay.
personal conviction might be, it could be afraid to drive in the city, elderly person that needs to get to Pittsburgh to the hospital,
Don't want to drive at night, whatever.
right, anything.
Okay.
So I just
So the
assumed,
PUC took offense to that language.
apparently, well, it's more like another taxi company didn't want me
Oh,
around.
okay. I got you. So it was
Right.
competitors. So now we
Competitors,
introduced
yes.
that hurdle,
Right.
competition.
So so they had missed their opportunity to protest, the company when it went into public bulletin. That was the last step before becoming official.
Okay, so they
Yeah.
missed it on the front end
Right.
to block you out if they
Right.
could. So
Right.
then once you were in business, now the tack was, how do we keep her from
Right.
being in business?
So, and that's pretty much what they did. And of course I was devastated because I tried to do everything right from the beginning and
Well, this is
do
where you
everything
and I
legal.
met because I was
Right.
trying to help you navigate through some of that.
Right. So basically they found me driving through their territory because they were actually out of Beaver County, going to the Pittsburgh airport every day. So
Which is your kind of meat and potatoes run,
yeah,
right?
kind of.
Okay.
So driving through their territory every day in this awesome pink and white taxi, and they're like, what is that? So when they discovered me, they thought they had to figure out a way. Well, then when they saw those extra words on there, they thought, okay, she's going to have to fix that. So I did. And the state called and they said they would push it through quickly for me because I said, I'm already out there. I'm marketed. My phone's ringing 24/7. They said they knew that I was a great business and I was doing a good job and I'm super needed in the area, that this is just something you have to fix. You'll have to cease and desist that main paratransit certificate until you fix it.
So they shut you down.
Shut me down. Just the one certificate. So I have 3 certificates. I have the Pittsburgh International Airport delivery and then the paratransit. But the paratransit was obviously my main one that gets everybody from point A to point B.
Okay.
So basically, they did push it through because I was really upset. I said, you guys took a year the last time waiting for this process. And they said, we'll push it through for you. So they did. 3 weeks later, they called and they said, it's made it through the process. All it has to do is go into public bulletin, 2 weeks on the board, a week on somebody's desk, and then you're scot-free. So after it went into public bulletin, I got a letter in the mail a week later that that taxi company
They
had
were
their
appealing.
lawyer. Yep, they were protesting. So the state took the competition piece off the plate, but they had to try to prove that I was unfit as a company. So I had to continue to stay on my cease and desist order. That lasted 467 days.
13 months,
Not
14 months.
Not that I was counting today.
Right.
But I literally answered, because I was already out there. I stopped marketing. I just kind of flying under the radar, trying to do what I could. But I basically was just kind of keeping a low profile. And then I would explain to every single person that called why I couldn't help them if they were going anywhere but the Pittsburgh airport. So, and everybody was pretty understanding. I mean, there was a lot of people that were stranded still, and it was disappointing, you know.
But for you personally,
Yeah.
your fight or flight kind of kicked in, right?
Yes, it really
But
did.
One of the things that's I've always admired about you, Tina, and the time I've gotten to know you is you're just a fighter. You're going to push through whatever the obstacle is, right?
I just figure this service is so needed and it's meant to be. And if I'm supposed to be here, I'm going to be here. So I'm still here and growing. So I made it through. I mean, I went through all of that. You know, I explained to every person why I couldn't help them. I helped who I could. I started getting a little creative on how to help people. So I had to be very careful. You know, I didn't break any laws or anything, but I helped people get to the airport so they could get the rest of the way into downtown Pittsburgh or, you know, whatever. So we would just use the certificates that I had available to me, and we made it work.
Found a way.
Made lots of Z-Trip taxi friends, you know, so they were able to help them get the rest of the way from the airport.
And you had no idea what it meant to start a transportation company.
No idea.
No experience in the taxi business.
No, I mean, I worked at the Mercer County Community Transit many, many years ago, so I had a little bit of an idea how the transportation industry works, but I had no idea how big the need was until I started it.
So when you basically knocked down that protest or appeal,
right,
you got the green light when?
May of 2020, when nobody was going a single place.
This is where I was going.
Yeah.
So just when you get over that, you have another tsunami called COVID that you need to deal with.
I'm telling you what, I didn't even care. I was so excited to get my certificate back, and I thought, nobody's going anywhere. But that's okay, because they will. Like, they're going to start moving again. And so because of our ruralness area that I serve, because I service 5 counties, and we're all rural.
Yeah, and talk about those real quick, the 5 that you're in now.
The 5 counties that I serve, Mercer County, I'm out of Mercer County, that's my home base. And then I do Crawford, Venango, Lawrence, and Butler.
But as a Mercer County TV program, what we're doing here, you have several locations in Mercer County.
I do. So my locations in Mercer County are Grove City, Mercer, which is the same office, Garage, Hermitage, and Greenville.
So you got it covered.
Yes, I have Mercer County covered. So I basically decided to go ahead and place all my garages out there so I could be more affordable once, you know, people started moving again. Because my tariff is from the garage to pick up the drop-off.
So if I'm in Greenville, which I am,
right,
when I call you for a ride, you're coming from the Greenville garage. I don't have to wait for you to come up from Mercer, Grove City.
Right.
Okay.
Now, before I place those garages, you would be paying from Grove City. So your fare would start at like $45 before you left your driveway, and then $2.50 a mile after that. So that's why I placed these garages. So that's what I spent that whole year of the pandemic doing, was basically placing these garages so I could be more affordable when people started to move again. So.
And when you look at the business model, because we're going to take a little break here in just a minute or two and come back, but when you look at your business model, it's really about that concierge service. And then there's another part of the service that really I didn't realize when I just see Tina's Taxi, but it's a delivery service as well.
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit.
So I decided whenever I started the business, you know, like what was the need? You know, so obviously transportation, but I'm like, people could use delivery service. Some people can't get out, you know, and I just wanted to add it to the services that we provide. So I decided to go ahead and just, you know, like what was important for people to have delivered. So with that, I thought, what would people pay for? So I thought, if I was, you know, at home and I couldn't get out and I needed whatever, like you're having a party and you have alcoholic beverages there and you're too drunk to go out and get it, I could go deliver more. Or if you're stuck at a hotel, I have a lot of truck drivers that are stuck in a hotel, broke down, and they have nothing to do all weekend. So they have me bring them good food and alcohol.
Hey, why not?
So I had to get the liquor control board license to do that, to deliver alcohol. So we're like kind of a transporter for that.
And while
So,
all this is going on now, we're post-pandemic, people are starting to move and then fuel prices spike.
right.
So can you adjust your rates fast enough to account for that? Or?
I haven't done anything with my tariff yet. I'm probably going to have to do something about that. I'm so busy, I haven't had time to deal with it. But that is a big need. Like the fuel prices are pretty much,
Putting some pressure on you.
yes, they
Yeah.
are.
We're going to
Yeah.
come back and talk about the growth of the company, how many vans you have now,
Okay.
difficulty finding drivers, some of the other challenges you're facing now that you are up and running. We're visiting with Tina Fenrick at Tina's Taxi. She is an entrepreneur's entrepreneur, and we're going to take a little break, talk to you a little bit about Penn-Northwest Development Corporation and our activities in Mercer County, and we'll be right back with Tina's Taxi.
Is your company looking to expand and grow? Then Mercer County, Pennsylvania is the right place for you. Whether your company is involved in manufacturing, technology, logistics, health, or business services, shale gas exploration, or retail, we can help. Mercer County, Pennsylvania offers low-cost land, valuable infrastructure, a quality labor force, and the right financial tools to make your corporate expansion an affordable reality. Mercer County is only a day's drive to major markets including Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo, New York City, Chicago, and even southern Canada. Companies like GE Transportation, Joy Cone Company choose to make it in Mercer County, and Penn-Northwest wants to show you how your company can also make it in Mercer County too. Our team of experts will help you expand and save dollars. How does Penn-Northwest do it? How does Penn-Northwest save companies so much money? With a combination of low-interest loans, grants and credits, tax abatements, and even tax-free property. Here's the best part. Penn-Northwest will do most of the work for you. Just click on the button below and get the process started. Or you can first get an idea of how your organization can make it in Mercer County by using the savings estimator located at makeitinmercercounty.com. You'll see that expanding your business in Mercer County, Pennsylvania is the move that makes the most dollars and cents. Call Penn-Northwest Development Corporation at 724-662-3705 for more information.
Welcome back to this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. I'm your host, Rod Wilt, with Penn-Northwest Development Corporation, and we are here with Tina Fenrick from Tina's Taxi. And Tina, when someone steps into that taxi of yours, it's kind of a fun ride, right?
It is a fun ride. So we have lots of free amenities, and they get to pick their own radio station. We have Big Sister in there, Alexa. So they can
Nice.
pick any song they want or any genre or whatever. But we always have cold bottled water, Tootsie Pops, gum, mints. Those are just a few of them. So it's just a fun ride.
That's cool.
And a very clean,
Oh, your stuff is just so eye-catching, and when you've been by the office, I always want to look in and make sure you're keeping it nice and clean, the way you always do. But your typical. You talked about serving the transportation industry, those guys that are hung up over the weekend or at the hotels, and some of your shoppers. But the colleges also are kind of a nice piece of business for you as well.
Right. Yeah, we service 5 colleges, mainly doing airport transfers, for the most part. But I set up a lot of direct bills with all of the colleges too, because they have people coming and going for interviews and those type of things as well.
So you'll pick that person flying in to go to a Grove City or a Westminster, Teal,
Right.
or whatever, Slippery Rock. And
Yep.
yeah, very, very
So-
cool. Tell me about a day in the life of a taxi company owner, because you're not just the owner, you're driver number one too,
I
right?
am, yep, I'm wearing 10 hats all the time. I'm dispatching, driving, watching all my drivers. I'm setting all kinds of alarms to make sure that everybody's on time, because we are a very efficient and on time, not your typical taxi. You have to keep on top of all that. So I have 8 drivers at the moment and 1 office manager. So I have basically 5 taxis running. I'm actually driving 2 at the moment. 1 marked, 1 unmarked, just because we don't have enough drivers. But you have to just keep on top of everything to make sure that everybody is getting where they need to be on time. So
So on top of all the other challenges that you faced, and we talked about them in the first segment, but probably the biggest issue you're having is the issue that we talk with all of our guests about, which is just the people shortage, right? Finding enough help.
Exactly. So after everything I've gone through and I got all my garages placed, I was all excited. Okay, all I have to do is hire people for every garage, put a van there, put employees in that area, and go running. But I have really struggled. I can't get anybody to come to an interview. So that's
And who of the drivers you have that are successful, I mean, who makes a good taxi driver?
I love people in the hospitality industry that are already in the service industry. I kind of like to go and see, the convenience stores and who's friendly and enjoying their job and whatever. So, just kind of talk to them about, hey, I'm hiring. So I've been able to snag a couple people that way. And then some of them have found us, so they, come on board or whatever. But I'm looking for that, the personality. I mean, obviously you have to be a safe driver. You have to go through extensive background screenings and drug screenings and all those things. But the personality is a big thing. So because we provide, we're not just a normal taxi driver. We want the experience to be there. We are in the hospitality industry and we want people to enjoy their ride. Everybody that rides with me, they sit up front. They're like my new best friend. We're practically hugging by the time I get to the airport.
Of course.
So
people that watch the program probably understand that straight up.
But yeah, just it's the experience in general. So
you found your niche.
I did.
There's a place for you in Mercer County. There's a place for you in Northwest Pennsylvania. So what are your why here? What's your favorite thing about being in business in Northwest Pennsylvania?
I like the area. I like being in the rural area. I'm not looking to service the cities. I like being on the 2-lane, windy, quiet roads. So, and I want to help the people that are truly stranded. And people are truly stranded. We're scooping up people off the side of the highway, people that broke down in car accidents, getting the ambulances to the emergency room, can't get home, truck drivers that are broke down, people that Uber in from Pittsburgh to go to the outlet mall. They have no idea they're stranded once they get there. So
it's easy to Uber up, you can't Uber back, right?
Exactly. So it's like we're in rescue mode all the time, like just kind of helping the community and all of the people that are passing through. So you can't predict those things. So we're constantly getting people that are like driving through on vacation and they just happen to break down in Mercer County. And everyone always says whenever they're stuck in Mercer County, they can't believe how nice everybody is. I mean, because everybody goes above and beyond, like it's just the way it is. So it's like a whole culture change.
And you're part of that culture, seriously,
I am.
because I tell you, for someone in the economic development business that we're in, it's really about, we're not creating anything. We're promoting what's already out there.
Right.
And we're promoting the uniqueness of Mercer County and the economy that we have here is, I say it's a mile wide and a mile deep. And a big part of our mission is to just educate people about all of the great amenities we have here, but also the great economic development and job opportunities that we have. And this is just a part of our fabric that you bring, something unique. We have a large passenger transportation company with the Anderson Coach and Travel. We did one of these programs with them, and I was blown away by how, again, wide and deep their reach is throughout the region.
Right.
But then on a different level, you've got that personal touch you deliver. I like asking our entrepreneurs and business owners this question. If you had to do it all over again, would you do it? And if you would do it, what would you do different?
I would definitely do it again. I wish I was younger when I started.
Don't we all? Don't
Just
we all?
because, I mean, I would have, I wish I was younger. So I had more time to, I don't know, more energy maybe. I mean, I have a lot of energy, but like the age is starting to affect it a little bit. But I would definitely do it all over again. I love the fact that I'm filling a need in the area, and it's just very rewarding.
Did you know you had this entrepreneurial spirit when you were growing up? You did.
I did. I can't do anything low end. Like I'm an all or nothing personality, and I
One
can't.
or 100, right? One or 100.
So I either have to not do it or I have to go all out. I mean, I can't help myself. So I just found myself working for all these companies and just, putting all in. And I just really wanted to start my own business so I could work 100 hours, for
Sure.
myself.
Right.
But
Do what you did this morning, 2 airport runs back to back.
Right.
Yeah, up since 1:30, and here you all are smiling away as you always are, Tina. Another thing that I think I'd like you to speak just to that entrepreneurial spirit. Folks out there coming out of the pandemic, the traditional workplace is kind of suffering. You're seeing it even in your area, just trying to recruit people. But that person sitting out there saying, is now the right time for me to do my own thing? What would you say?
I would say it is. I mean, you got to find what makes you happy, and like what you have to have a purpose, and you have to enjoy what you do. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it well. So
where do you go from here?
As far as
this company, you've got it to this point. I know
I
you've got
do.
this limitation with some drivers, and we're gonna.
I do, but I'm
figure
working
this
through
out.
that. So I'm working through all that. I finally hired my operations manager, and I have an assistant operations manager. I have a second one coming on board in June. I'm trying to get out of the driver's seat and answering the dispatch phones and running the daily operations so I could take the business further, because I have big dreams for this business, and we are just in phase 1. So phase 2 is coming. I just have to finish phase 1, and we're inching our way towards that.
And that's building out the service territory, getting
Yes.
more territories.
Yes, I just need to put those garages out there, get more vans and employees. So
But the blueprint's been laid.
blueprint's been laid. So I mean, whatever's meant to be will be, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But we have a lot going on. We're having an app developed, so that's in the works right now. It's not going to be for the customers at the moment. It's going to be for dispatching and for the drivers. But
Okay, I was going to ask you that.
yeah, eventually it'll be for the customers. They'll get on Tina's Taxi website and register to ride with us, and make things a little bit easier for everybody. But the personal touch has to be there, so I'm not ready to give that up. I don't want to be.
Yeah, you got to create a bunch of little Tinas out there,
exactly.
right?
I need a few mini-me's out there.
Right.
But yeah, so basically I will expand the territory, and then possibly someday maybe I will franchise out if that's meant to be. I just think that all rural America needs a Tina's Taxi. So
That's
we'll
just
see.
that's a great line to end on, Tina. We get to interview a lot of wonderful people and a lot of wonderful businesses, a lot of wonderful service organizations. But I have to tell you, this has been a special time I got to spend with you, and I just love your spirit and what you're doing, seeing a need, filling it, going through all the hurdles, all the ups and downs. You've got a story to tell, and I'm happy we could help you tell it here on Discover Mercer County Business.
Thank you so much.
Tina, it's been so much fun, and we hope you had fun hearing Tina's story. And obviously, we're going to have on the screen a number of ways for you to reach out to Tina if you're ever in need of her services. We want to thank you for watching this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. And again, thank Tina Fenrick of Tina's Taxi for making it in Mercer County. We're producing this show in the state-of-the-art TV and radio studios in the Pettis Communications Center on Teal's campus here in Greenville, PA. And we want to thank the students, faculty, and staff who helped bring this show to life. If you have an idea or a suggestion for a future edition of our program, please connect with our Improvement Movement team on our website at penn-northwest.com, or please give us a call at 724-662-3705. And remember, you can also find out more about Penn-Northwest Development Corporation by searching for us on YouTube or connecting with us on LinkedIn and our other social media platforms. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. We'll see you again next time.